All right, David Taylor, chuckling already. How do you put into words what just happened, particularly at heavyweight? Wyatt Hendrickson just beat Gable Steveson, a guy who won the Olympics the day after you won the Olympics.
That was crazy. I just think this is a sport where, everyone's got a chance. You just got to believe. You got to believe, and I mean, it's easy to get caught up in what you can and what you can't do. And, Wyatt believed. And honestly, not one time this year did we talk about wrestling Gable. From the moment he got there, was just, let's just become a better wrestler. Like everyone knew Wyatt for the pinner, and he was great, prolific pinner, but he was pretty sloppy, made a lot of mistakes, and that's what cost him in these tournaments. You get hurt. And I told him when you get here, I said, I'll have a plan for you. I'll keep you healthy, and I'll get you at your best in the national tournament. And I think this whole year, he bought into that, and I think that was a big deal for him. And this summer when I was training, I was able to wrestle him, and back then I could still wrestle him a little bit, and but then he got in shape and he cleaned some things up, and you get a 260-pound guy like that that's motivated and hungry with that kind of athleticism that starts to learn his technique and starts to dial things in and really focus. Anything can be possible, and that's really what happened tonight. And the biggest thing for him was just patience. When he wrestled Greg and he wrestled Wyatt, or when he wrestled Gable, those guys are great at reattacks. And I think that's kind of where he's been vulnerable in the past. Is just, all right, with those guys, you got to be patient. You got to be patient. Got to keep him reacting. He's in great shape. The guy can do stance in motion essentially the entire match, and he's great on top. And that's a difference maker for him. And it all adds up. And he gave himself a chance. He had a chance, and I just said, all right, well, you got to keep him reacting. And when you go, you got to get two hands to leg, and you're going to have to fight for the finish. And, he made it happen.
The finish was insane because it was, for a long period of time, just one hand. How was he able to pull that in and get his hips under him?
But that was like a belief moment, honestly. There's some technique to it. He pounded, right? He did a good job of not splitting his hands till his hips came in. There's technique to it, but those are moments where, you look back and you as a competitor, you just do something. You just do it, right? And he did it, and it was pretty incredible.
You said you didn't talk about Gable at all, but Wyatt said you had to talk to him about being a national champion.
Oh, yeah. We're not training to beat singular guys. We're trying to be the best wrestler that we can be. That's what we talked about. It's just coming back to Oklahoma State, and the standard of excellence that we want to have as a program is like we're just trying to be the best at what we're doing, and in doing so, that's cleaning up all your, just cleaning things up and just being better every single week, being better lifestyle, better way that you train, better way that you compete mentally, just even learning how to help these guys. The way that I was wired mentally, these guys are maybe not wired the same. So we got to learn how to communicate to them differently. We even throughout the national tournament, we started to change the way that we communicated with the guys. So I just think, in doing so, we're trying to be the best version. Yeah, and are we trying? This is the pinnacle. We're trying to be national champions. We're trying to win the national championship. This is a really hard tournament to win. And whoever's in your path, you can't predict who's going to be there. But when you step across the mat, you got to be ready to take some guys out.
You mentioned the text messages that you started sending really early on. Was that part of that, just learning how to communicate with him and get to him, or was there some other reason that motivated you to send those messages?
I just think it's belief, right? It's just seeing something, verbalizing it, believing it, and it's not overly. It just got to become something that it's just part of your DNA. When you step out there, you're going to win, And I think that's just it's slowly throughout the year, and just maybe the first time you kind of chuckle at it. And then you're like, oh, actually, no, I think I can do this. And then you start to become what you are, and just remind them, dude, you can do some great things, and you did something pretty great tonight.
How monumental of a moment is that for it to happen in your first year for the program?
I think I don't know. You guys probably can judge it more than I can, but that was one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my entire life. It's almost like surreal in the corner to think, hey, we have a chance here. Right, we got a chance here, and Wyatt, he believed it. He came over. He's like, it's interesting. I'm gonna take it. Go get it, So it's not to. And think about DJ, right? DJ beat two separate national champions to win, right? Wyatt beat two separate national champions to win. I think that's speaks to our staff and everybody in our program. in the things that we're trying to help these guys do. It's pretty cool.
What did it mean for DJ? I mean, you talk about the belief factor. How big was that for him, and how did he get it, for this tournament, especially goes through Levi and then Keegan?
I mean, I told him, I said, after he lost to Keegan, I said, I don't know, you're the only guy on the planet that I know that's wrestled Mitchell and Keegan like that, right? But it's just a matter of, when you're scoring, you're your best. The moment you try and win the matches, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we do as a program. That's not what you do as a wrestler. It makes you great as you score. And he was receptive to it, and it's just like, and we made a few adjustments in his defense and his baseline, not getting excited, not going to the split, can't go to the split against a good finisher, and he made the adjustments, hey, we talked through it, settle adjustments, and then just build him up and helped him believe, that he was going to go and win this tournament. And, and then he went out and did it.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah. I was just trying to take my turn.
Yeah. Can you just reflect on what the team finish means in terms of what you're trying to build?
Yeah, I mean, to get third place as a team, that's pretty special because it's not an individual thing. It's not just like one guy can carry you there. It's everybody. All the guys that were here are a part of that. That's what makes the sport so great. Individually, obviously, those guys help you win, but you need everybody. Everybody's a part of that. Guys that are training partners, guys that are wrestling here, guys that maybe didn't make it here that are still helping. And we talked about Oklahoma State being a sleeping giant, and now we're inserted right back in the conversation. And when I got here, I think people say, well, maybe you'll win down the road and maybe one day you can win. No, we wanted to win this year. I thought we'd win this year. Never going to settle for something less than that. But with that being said, along this journey, you got to appreciate some awesome stuff. I think as a competitor, sometimes my standard was so high that you do something and just constantly reset to the next thing and you forget about how awesome what you just did was great. Okay, in these moments, we won a Big 12 championship, first time in a while, right? We got third place as a team here. First time we've done that in a while. It is big. Really happy, really proud of it. But now, I don't know, this tournament's over right now. It starts for next year. Path to be national champ starts right now.
How much of a statement is it? You take Dean, who didn't place last year, did not All-American. He beats 2 national champions. You got Wyatt Hendrickson. He suffered an upset loss to Lucas Davison, and then you got Troy Spratley, DNP, putting him in the finals. Is that, you say the momentum you're creating, do you feel like that's going to create a lot of momentum in recruiting, saying, wow, in 1 year, seemingly these guys have made tremendous strides?
I think so. I mean, since getting down there, we've had a lot of momentum in the recruiting. We've had 2 great classes back to back. Obviously it takes great wrestlers to go out and to do great things. So people, I think, have already had a little bit of a blind belief in what we're doing, and then now in the tournament, we had a good tournament. It's shown we can develop some guys. I think in this era of, the reality is, this is the team that we have, right? And we have we have people that want to be a part of our team, and it's pretty special to see these guys, and I think we got very, very, very lucky with the guys that came in. Obviously they transferred in, but these guys are like ingrained in the DNA of our program. It's not like you got a bunch of individuals doing their own thing. I mean, you see how these guys embrace each other and they bought in. I mean, this is the foundation for what we're building, the culture. And when we got there, I mean, we were pretty straight up with these guys about this is the way you're gonna live your life. This is what we're gonna do. This is the way to win. This is the excellent way to do things. And these guys bought into it, and just really, really proud of them.
Belief for you, this is your first year coaching. Was there ever a time you're like, I think this is what I should do, or did you have a really good blueprint in your mind how you were going to take the team through the season?
I mean, I think I had a blueprint, but also I'm doing all these things for the first time, so I rely on my coaches a lot. I asked Jimmy, I asked Tyler, I asked Thomas. We communicate, try to communicate the best that we can as a staff, and for Thomas and I, we were navigating things for the first time this year. Tyler and Jimmy have been in college wrestling for a long time. So and we all come from a different background. We have a blend, and So I think it's just sometimes we're gathering what it's like, but at the same time, like I think we all have such a high standard. You know, our goal is just help our guys be successful. You know, Troy. I mean, I'm heartbroken for him because I know it's like to lose. I lost here twice. I think losing here is harder than losing in any other tournament. It's heartbreaking. There's really no other way to say it. You sit, you cry, you sit in the bathroom, you cry, you know, because you put everything into it. You dream about it for a long time. But when I lost, then it gave perspective on what it was going to take to win, you know, and I think now he went from not placing and saw that. But I mean, Jimmy and Thomas put a lot of time with Troy, you know, and you know, he wouldn't be here without those guys. So it's a complete effort. Nick Montoni, our strength coach, Nick Goldstein, our athletic trainer, you know, our administration, you know, our doctors, everything involved in our program. I mean, it's the support.
Yeah. You won the Hodge Trophy twice. You get a vote. You're going to cast it for Wyatt Hendrickson?
Yes. I mean, undefeated. I mean, he dominant, you know, won this tournament. I mean, he's in a year of a lot of deserving guys. I mean, I don't know who you could say would be more deserving than him this year.
Anything else?
What was your message to Troy afterward? Especially you said you've been there before, you've been where he's been.
I mean, I just told him I love him, and it hurts, but now you know what you maybe before this year you didn't know if you belonged there. Now you know. Now you know. And now you have a year to make some adjustments, you know? And that's what's great about the sport, you know? And when you get a chance up there, you gotta make the most of it because you just don't know if you're gonna get another one. But he's resilient, he's so tough, and super proud of him, super proud of him.
Last one for me. Talk a little bit about your relationship with Levi, and you know you've trained him obviously. Did that help kind of game planning for that semi, or was it more just like Dean, you do you, we know what you need to do to win? That kind of thing?
Yeah, match. You know that semifinal round was really tough. You know because I was there for a long time. You know I have really deep relationships with Levi in particular. You know he's like a little brother to me, and. In my mind, I thought about those guys wrestling, and you know, this year wasn't about showing DJ one thing or another thing. It was just trying to help DJ be better. He had areas that he needed to get better in, and he helped him get better in those things. And in that match, you know, as excited I was for DJ in a big moment to win the semifinals, I was equally as heartbroken for Levi. You know, and that's just my canned answer. You know, it's hard. It was a hard match. You know, but I was really proud to see Levi come back and get third. I mean, he's a warrior, and he's pretty kind of a one-of-a-kind kind of kid.
My last thing, just you made a decision, a hard decision, a little less than a year ago. Standing here today, how thrilled are you that hey, I just had this season, we were able to do this, and I'm the head coach of Oklahoma State.
Man, I'm so grateful. It's just amazing. This is amazing. Being down here on the floor, being able to coach, be able to see the development that you have throughout the year, and just true development, right? You talk about, I mean, the guys that are doing well, like Cam Amin wasn't All-American last year. Caleb Fish was not an All-American last year. DJ was not an All-American last year. You know, Wyatt had a hard time getting through those guys. You know, I just think it's exciting to see the development in guys. You know, I think it is, and it's. We're just in the beginning. I haven't been here for a year yet, right? I mean, we're going against programs. These guys have been here for 15 years. You know, like we only have a recruiting class yet. You know, so it's exciting. You know, and it's just you got to keep going. Got to keep building. Got to keep innovating.
Yeah.
Just the beginning.
Thank you, David. Congrats.